Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Friday. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We are streaming live, not from the Skywalker Studios, but from Texas Car House in Las Colinas. And, of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited for this one, man. Really excited for this one. Las Colinas, Texas Car House, TCH Social. If the Cowboys won't go all in, we'll go all in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a couple people going all in right this second as we speak. But we got some Cowboys stuff to talk about today. It is Fan Friday. So we're going to bring our guy Patrick No C Walker of DallasCowboys.com in the building, okay? We are going to answer a couple of your questions together. I will also finish up with a few more of those questions. You guys had some good ones today. I'm not going to lie to you. Twitter saved it. Instagram, I don't know why I even post over there, but Twitter saved it for sure. Also, Pat will take us inside the Star and give us an update on what is a lengthy injury report. If you guys know who Chris Jericho is, and back in the day he had this list, the list of Jericho, and he would say stuff like,
"You just made the list."
The entire team made the list of the Cowboys injury report. So we're going to dive inside there and see, what's serious, what's not serious, and if the Cowboys are going to be even more hampered going up against a Houston Texans team that is probably pissed off and ready to take your heads off in this game. But good morning, Bomb Squad. Where's my manners? Come on, I got different buttons on that. I got different buttons on this one. Let me ask you a question. Audio good? Audio okay? Not late today, Willie T. So all week, if you guys haven't been, I know I've mentioned it towards the end of the show, but all week I've been teasing that this show will be at 10 o'clock today at TCH Social in Las Colinas. We pushed it back. So I know I haven't said it multiple times throughout the show, but I wanted to make sure I did let you guys know. We are actually more on time today than we've ever been. I'm just saying. But here's what we're going to do. Let's get into this roundup, okay? Because in the roundup, the Cowboys, I guess they said the quiet part out loud, right? But I got a bone to pick about it. I mentioned it on Twitter, and I'm going to talk to you guys about it today. Now, you want to talk about a throwback? I got one for you. Wait, do I got to turn down my mic? I'll turn this down.
It's time.
It's time.
It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Remember this one? Hold on, where's it at? Remember I used to do this right here? Hey, audio, should I turn me back up? Y'all said I might be too loud. I'm not under the weather, but it sounds like I am. Let me know. If the audio's good, I'll turn it up, turn it down. Y'all let me know. Anyway, let's get to some Cowboys news here. Jonathan Mingo, per Mike McCarthy, which we kind of knew this already, right? He will be debuting Monday night. Now, I don't know how much because, again, you're talking about him just getting here last week, and this offense, while it's not some elaborate offense, you still need to know calls, checks, cadence, your responsibilities. And if you're not where you need to be, it's tough to get out on the field. But you invested a fourth-round pick. You only got 8 or 9 more games left. It's not like you have great quarterbacking right now, so you just need to get him out there and see what he can do. We talked about that the other day where we're at that point in the season where the Cowboys need to figure out about some of these guys. And Mingo is one of them. And if I had to guess, he's going to eat into the snap count of Jalen Brooks. They're more of the size guys, right? The X-type wide receivers, and that's kind of what the Cowboys are looking for, and Brooks is just not that guy, pal. So if I had to guess, I think he will take away some of his snaps. But then I was thinking, I was like, well, if they're not going to do Turpin things with Turpin, then why not give him those snaps as well, right? Like, we've seen Turpin run to the middle of the field, stop routes, shallow crossers. Like, let Mingo do those things. If they're not going to use him on jet sweeps, reverses, out the backfield, wheel routes, deep overs, deep post, then let Mingo do the things that Turpin has been doing over the last few weeks, because they're not using Turpin to his skill set, in my opinion. So excited to see this kid. I know, look, this doesn't take away from the fact that it was a stupid value, in my opinion, for the trade, right? It was dumb. That doesn't mean I'm not excited to see what this kid can bring, and hopefully it's something, because the Cowboys are going to need to hit on this, given that they will be without a fourth-round pick next year in the draft, which potentially could be a top 5 in that round. So just they need this one, right? So let's see if Mingo can go out there and do a little sham. Oh, boy. We good? We good? Everybody said we good on the mic? Sound like we good. All right, cool. Cowboys Nation. I don't know if I blame this on the media or not, but so Mike McCarthy at the podium yesterday, he comes out and he says, quote, they ask him about Rico Dowdle. He says, quote, you have to get him the ball. That's the focus. That's my focus, to continue to get him opportunities. He's the lead back. And I think those words right there, he's the lead back, threw everyone in a tizzy. Oh, my God, the Cowboys have finally admitted that Rico Dowdle is the lead back. Coach, we already knew that. And I'm not coming at Coach. I'm coming at the media, because the media then ran with it and said, well, finally they put the running back by committee to rest. It's official. He's RB1. He's been RB1. I tweeted this yesterday. There never was a committee. It was all talk. It hasn't even been a 1-2 punch. That this is making rounds as news is odd to me. He's been the guy practically all season. What should be news, and this is the key part, is that the head coach has to fight with the owner, president, general manager in Zeke politics.
You spending millions on me, trying to confuse you. I had to talk to myself. Hope you used to. It's politics as usual.
It's politics as usual. That is what should be the headliner. Not that Rico Dowdle's the lead back. We knew that, squad. Right? Like, this ain't new. We knew that. Just go look at how they have deployed him. He's been the lead guy. The issue is having to fight with the owner to involve Ezekiel Elliott. Now, let me further elaborate on my stance about a commitment or running back by committee, because sometimes I get in this realm of thinking everyone that watches me is also on Twitter, and everyone that's on Twitter watches. That's not the case, right? So the commitment to running back by committee, that approach was dead during the draft. When they made the decision to skip over drafting a running back or running backs and bring back Zeke, it was over. It was done. Now, personally, I prefer a 1-2 punch. However, if you're going to commit to a committee, then that backfield needs to consist of 3 capable complementary halfbacks, and or the scheme needs to be complementary to its pieces. Let me ask you, Cowboys Nation, Bomb Squad, do the Cowboys have 3 complementary capable backs right now? And do the Cowboys have a scheme that complements their skill sets? Or do they even have 3 capable guys, if we're keeping it a buck right now? Let's be real. Let's be real. So I think to insinuate that the committee approach is dead now all of a sudden is a bit disingenuous. It never was a real thing. From the start, the real story needs to be that McCarthy really, for the last, month or so of the season, has come out. It's been pretty obvious that he's a bit frustrated with having to give Ezekiel Elliott some time. He's frustrated that he has to play this politics game with the guy that he really doesn't want. That's just the facts of the matter, ladies and gentlemen. But I get it. You know, everyone has a job to do. And when you hear that, then that's the new headline. Oh, no more committee. It never was. It never was a committee. They never really committed to making a running back by committee. We had this conversation all offseason. You guys know how I feel about it. I prefer 1-2 punch, but a committee approach can work. Let me pull this up so we can get our guy Patrick Nosey Walker up in here. If you guys want to call in a little bit, we might get a couple callers too. We'll see. Yep, there he goes. There he goes. All right, so here's what we're going to do, Cowboys Nation. Let's go ahead and turn the page here and get into the scientific method with our guy Patrick Nosey Walker. Unfortunately, Pat, I don't got my button here today to bring you in, so here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do with you. We got our guy Pat Nosey Walker in the building, ladies and gentlemen. What's good, bro?
What up, my guy? Yeah, we in full 2024 mode. You stop giving me my walk-in music and everything.
No, I wouldn't do that to you, brother. I wouldn't do that to you. I got my whole other soundboard. I feel bad I don't got your intro in here, so it just hurts me, man. It just hurts me. What's good with you, man? How you doing,
brother? It's good. It's good.
How we doing today?
Nonetheless, that's what we do. I'm blessed, man. I'm back and talking with you, man. It's always a fun time.
Indeed. Are you feeling a lot better than half the damn team over there? Because I looked at that injury report, Pat. I mean,
guys,
listen, brother, you don't got to do the whole thing because that'll be the whole entire segment. But just give us the important parts of this ridiculously lengthy injury report.
Yeah, first and foremost, you got 18 people that are on the injury report that are either DNP, which is did not participate, or are flat out just dealing with something that they're trying to play through. Headliners would be, well, first let's start with the good news. The good news is that Marvion Overshown with that bursitis in his knee. He was a full participant on yesterday. He also participated in practice on Wednesday, though they didn't have to give an injury report on Wednesday because it's a Monday night football game. But that's 2 consecutive days of full practice for him. So Demo looks like he's going to be a full go, and they're definitely, going to want him on the field, even if only for his continued development because he's starting to really find his groove. DaRon Bland, you can draw a line through him. Another week of no DaRon Bland. He did not participate again in practice. I keep hearing that he's close, but we're 12-ish weeks away from him having the surgery on a stress fracture.
Right.
I'm not entirely sure what the holdup there is, but Mike McCarthy said yesterday that they're not having conversations of shutting him down for the season, which I personally don't agree with. At 3-6, staring at a possible 3-7, I said you shut him down and get him healthy for 2025, which is going to be an all-important year for him. But they're not talking about that quite yet, so. But you won't see DaRon Bland on the field. Kalen Carson, he missed practice with an illness. It's the same illness that took Jake Ferguson out of practice on yesterday. And as anyone knows, we don't, when it comes to this, either it's one day or it can take them out of a game. Good news is they have an extra day with the game being on Monday night. So hopefully at least Jake Ferguson can play because this offense is already kind of stagnant. And then you take one of your best weapons off the field, it's just going to get worse. So if you think you were at rock bottom against the Eagles, you don't want to see what that looks like without Jake Ferguson on the field. I know he had the turnover, but that's not something he typically does. Tyler Guyton, he practiced, but he's still dealing with a shoulder injury. So they're still trying to determine if Tyler Guyton is going to take the start at left tackle or if it's going to be Austin Richards, who played well in his small sample size against the Eagles, or if they're going to activate Chuma Edoga to the active roster, which he's now practiced twice, limited yesterday, but he's now practiced twice, so he's kind of trending. Jordan Lewis, that's a headliner to keep an eye on. He did not practice with a neck injury. He was doing rehab work with Hunter Lipke. I had to pause on that one because
you're running out of breath.
Man, how many? Right. Not just that. It's just look at the names I'm saying, man. Like Jordan Lewis, Hunter Lipke. These are some of your only bright spots, and now they're dealing with something they didn't practice on yesterday. Zach Martin, he didn't practice. It was a rest day / dealing with the shoulder injury. And I mean, those are your headliners from there, and it just goes on and on. Like I said, 18 guys on this list. Murphy's Law.
Nah, indeed, man. And I want to get to now our mailbag segment, and one of the questions revolves around one of those guys on the injury report, and you kind of touched on it a little bit here, but this question comes from our guy, Aaron from the 516. He's like our mailbag MVP. He said, if you had to guess.
Yeah, here, OG. What's
Yeah.
up, Ron?
Ron, he's a beast with the questions. He said, if you had to guess what happens to DaRon Bland after this year, trade, re-sign, or play it out? I have my opinions, but I want to hear yours.
I think that they try to re-sign for a couple reasons. I mean, number one, outside of the injury that he's dealing with, he's not an injury-prone player, and he's coming off of a record-setting season as far as pick sixes. He's still currently the reigning leader in interceptions from last year. And you don't move on from a guy like that any more than you would entertain moving on from a guy like Trayvon Diggs. The Cowboys want to finally see Trayvon Diggs and DaRon Bland on the field at the same time. And you want that duo to stay intact for as long as possible. But you also have to keep in mind that Trayvon Diggs, he had his extension done last year. So now going into 2025, he's approaching the midway point of that contract. So whether you like it or not, you now have to at least start having the dialogue in your mind about, will it be a third extension or third contract, I should say, for Trayvon Diggs, or, how does that end? And if that's the case, the fact that you're having that conversation means you can't really afford to have that conversation and ship DaRon Bland away or let him leave in free agency following next season. So for me, for my money, I say you keep DaRon Bland, especially considering Kalen Carson. He kind of flew out of the gates against the Cleveland Browns, but between injury and just struggling when he's on the field, you don't have that definitive guy to replace Bland anyway right now. So for me, keep DaRon Bland on this team.
The trade I'm going to eliminate because this team just doesn't do that. Historically speaking, they have not recouped more than a fifth-round pick since I believe, Herschel Walker trade. So they're not going to trade away their top guy. So you can forget about that. The re-sign or play it out, though, I think is interesting because history suggests, if I had to guess, that they will re-sign him because they love to try to get at these guys that have been injured. I think it'd be even better for them if they just flat out sat him down all year, and they'd use that against him when they did go to the table next year. Like, hey, look, you had a foot situation. We're not really sure what that foot's going to be like, but we're willing to give you a healthy contract. A record setting? No. A top 5, 10? Probably not. Maybe he'll hover around 10 or so, but something where he's making more money than he is now. They love to do that. Terrence Steele, one of those guys. Jalen Smith, although Jalen.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, you can go all the way back to Barry Church. When he tore his Achilles, they came to Barry, and Barry even came out and regretted signing the contract because he was like, they got me. I'm healing up, and they say we want to extend you. Michael Gallup, another guy. So this is their MO. I can 100% see them re-signing him. However, if I'm the Cowboys, I would play this out, and just because you haven't really done well, right, doing this. Michael Gallup, Terrence Steele, right? It hasn't worked for you of late, so I would just play this thing out, and if everything works, you can sign him during the season if he's back to what he was.
Well, I agree. The only part of what you're saying that I'm on the opposite side of the fence is as far as like letting it play out. I think this was a setback of some sort, or I should say I know this was a setback of some sort. But if you look at the initial injury itself, we're not talking about Terrence Steele with the torn ACL, and we're not talking about a ruptured Achilles or any of these season-ending injuries or injuries that, easily ended the season when you knew what the diagnosis was.
Sure.
This is a stress fracture that for whatever reason is just dragging out. Right. So I'd be much more comfortable looking at a player who had a stress fracture and saying, yeah, okay, this is not, recovering as quickly as we like, but it's simply a stress fracture. It's not a devastating injury. I'm going to go ahead and give you this bag right now for a couple more reasons. We talked about the Trayvon Diggs variable as far as future tense is concerned, but and I talked about Kalen Carson. He's got a lot of work that needs to be done. Israel Mukuamu, he's in a contract year. Jordan Lewis is in a contract year. So even if you want to attack this cornerback position in the draft, those are still unknowns. But what you have in your hand right now is not only a known, but one of the best cornerbacks in the league in DaRon Bland, opposite one of the best cornerbacks in the league in Trayvon Diggs. I say you go ahead and you give DaRon Bland the bag as early as he's willing to accept it, and then you start to figure out the remainder after that.
I think they'll do that. I think we'll wake up here probably sometime in April, May, maybe even camp, and be like, DaRon Bland breaking news is signed to an extension. That's been their MO.
I'm here for that. I'm here for it.
Our second question comes from Mike Nice over on Twitter. He says, how long do we keep people like Bell, Deuce, and even Lance out of the starting lineup? Don't we need to know if these guys can deliver as full-time players or not? And you can add in whoever else you want there, Pat, with the young group, because there's a gang of young players that at some point you're probably going to have to start seeing what's up as you head into an offseason with like 20-some free agents.
Man, listen, Mike Nice, you must be a diehard listener of Talking Cowboys, because you are basically saying what I've been standing on the table for a couple weeks now, especially this week after seeing Cooper Rush only throw for 46 yards. And again, I think Cooper Rush is much better than that 46-yard game, but this situation, this outfit doesn't fit him like it did in 2022 when he had an offensive line that could protect and the defense that was taking the ball away, although the defense did take the ball away for him against the Eagles, and he still couldn't do anything with it. Why? Because the offensive line can't protect. Right. It's not a good look for him. So to that point, you got to unleash Trey Lance. For me, you have to put Trey Lance in the starting role. Now, they're not going to do that, at least not here against the Houston Texans. We'll see what that looks like against the Washington Commanders, maybe the New York Giants on Thanksgiving. I don't know. But if I'm GMing this thing, if I'm head coaching this thing, I'm like, you know what? I need evaluation on Trey Lance. I'm already paying him more than $5 million to hold the clipboard. No, we were waiting for an opportunity, not necessarily waiting for it, but the opportunity has now presented itself for him to actually get in-game regular season reps for full-blown evaluation, and you're holding him back while simultaneously standing at the podium and saying all he needs is reps. He needs reps. Well, which is it, right? So give Trey Lance the reps. And with Will Greer back in the building, I got a lot of love for Will Greer, and you see the note that he left on when he torched the guys in the preseason game, an emotional outing for him in his first stint. I say you unleash Trey Lance in a combination with Will Greer, and you let them battle it out to see who's going to be QB2 in 2025 and beyond. And then Deuce Vaughn, absolutely. What do you have there? You don't know, because you haven't taken the reins off of him completely. Do that. Take the reins off of Hunter Lipke completely, and the list goes on and on. Tyler Dighton, he's dealing with the shoulder injury. Okay, let him rest that up. You know what you have in him. He's your rookie first-round pick. He's going to be on your starting offensive line going forward, 2025 and beyond. Show me some more of Awesome Richards, for example, so you know what that backup situation looks like. Zach Martin, he's dealing with some body issues. He's not playing as he normally plays. It's a good time to maybe let him rest, even if it's just a couple of games. Get T.J. Bass in there. Let him get some reps. See what more you have there. So, I mean, I could go down the list, but I'm right there with you, Mike Nice. I said this is full-blown evaluation. If you guys go check out Science Lab on the .com that I posted yesterday, even if the Cowboys were to beat the Texans, it'd be entertaining in the moment, but right now their playoff odds are 3%. They jump to a whopping 6% if they beat the Texans. I mean, what are we doing here? So be competitive, but at the same time understand that guys like Deuce Vaughn, Hunter Lipke, Trey Lance, Will Greer, Awesome Richards, the list goes on. While you're evaluating these guys, you got to know that they know they're being evaluated, so they're going to play their hardest anyway. So I don't see what you have to lose is my point.
I agree, and honestly, it's not really so much about because, hey, maybe McCarthy's going to be he's on an expiring deal. I don't think he's going to be back. But the front office needs to know about these guys. Because McCarthy, even if he comes back, he's not going to have a say in signing players. That's more of a Stephen Jones, Will McClay thing. So Will McClay is going to be here. Stephen Jones is going to be here. McCarthy may not be here. The coach staff, some of these guys may not be here. So they need to know. Will and Stephen and Jerry, they need to know, hey, is Deuce worth something? Is Bell worth Lance? Awesome. Like, what are these guys worth moving forward with potentially a new coaching staff? If it's something, then you keep them around. If it's nothing, then maybe you look to offload some of these guys for something in return. Granted, they don't do that, but that's kind of how I would look at it.
Yeah, and I agree. And then when you start to look at even the safety position, for example, okay, it's not been the best season for Malik Cook or Donovan Wilson, and I'm on record as to identifying why it's not been a great season for Donovan Wilson. This scheme and Mike Zimmer doesn't fit him. They're asking Donovan to cover. That's the weakest part of his game. That's not what made him famous in Dallas. Get back to what Dan Quinn did with Donovan Wilson, downhill player, blitz packages, run stopping, safety, kind of the Barry Church mode. That's where that is. But from a safety position, it's a perfect time once Wanye Thomas is cleared from concussion protocol. Give him the reps. Give Marquise Bell these reps. Give these young safeties some reps so you can know what you have and to also better develop them for next season and beyond before it's too late. And now you're walking into contract negotiations with those young guys, but you don't really know what you have there yet. You know what their ceiling is as far as the potential goes, but you don't have a ton of film in regular season games. So, again, I'm right there with you, Mike Nice. I've been there for a couple of weeks now, more so after they fell to 3-6. Unleash the young Bulls, and let's see what you got.
Hey, man, we appreciate you coming through, Pat, as always, every week. This is Patrick Nosey Walker of .com. Again, plug that science lab one more time because I think people need to go take a look at that.
Yeah, check that out. Science Lab on DallasCowboys.com. It is identifying the Cowboys' playoff odds at this point at 3-6. Just a quick teaser, they're 3% right now. If they lose to the Texans, drops to just over 1%. They beat the Texans, it goes to 6%. The Cowboys will basically have – there's a Mendoza line. The Cowboys have to win X amount of games out of their last 8 in order for any of these games to matter as far as potentially back into the playoffs. If you want to know what those numbers and those percentages are, I broke it down for you. Just head to the mothership and check that out.
My God, Patrick Nosey Walker, I got you. No sucker can deal because I'm talking science.
My God.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, brother.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was Pat, y'all. Y'all know how he does. He comes through and gives us the goods every single week. Let me do this real quick. Mute. And bring this back in. And here we go. All right. Welcome back, Cowboys Nation. Patrick Nosey Walker dropping some dimes on what's going on with those injuries. I love the question, the Bland question. That's why I wanted them to put a pin in that one. And let me talk to y'all about it, okay? Because I like Bland a lot, and I would love to keep him here. If you're Bland's representation, they're likely going to approach DaRon Bland. Likely going to say, hey, we can give you a nice deal. You haven't played this year, or if he comes back and he doesn't play well, they can be like, hey, you ain't played that well. We're going to give you a. Do you gamble on yourself, or do you say, you know what, just go ahead and give me this deal? I think that's a tough question if I'm Bland. What Bland does have in his pocket is that, you know, prior to this season, he's led the league in interceptions. He's a all-pro. So if they decide to not sign him to an extension, Bland can say, fine, I do have that, you know, in my back pocket, and I have a year to go out there and show and prove that I'm worth the bag. I'm just wondering if the Cowboys would be willing to pay 2 cornerbacks like that. They have not done that historically speaking. And look, I know you could say, oh, well, this year is not the same as another year. Well, the Cowboys historically do the same thing. They historically do the same thing. And that's why yesterday when we talked about Carson, I'm like, I'm not drafting or signing a free agent because of Carson. And I hate to say it, I kind of feel that way about Bland, right? Like if you have the opportunity to grab a really good corner, whether it be in the top 100 in the draft or whether it be in free agency, I would consider that, right? I would look into that for the same reasons why I really looked into it last year. Hey, look, you need another guy for real. What if somebody and it ended up happening? J. Lou, he's a free agent. He's playing his way to probably a better contract than the Cowboys are going to offer, but maybe he gives a hometown discount and wants to stay in Dallas. I don't know. But all I do know is that if you let J. Lou go, Bland can slide right in there and be an even better nickel. So it's a tricky situation for Bland. But he, you know, if Stephen Jones looking at DaRon.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the
I'm
money.
just saying. Ms. Jackie said, have we paid 2 wide receivers? Yeah. In a way. Not really. Not big money. But in a way. CeeDee Lamb was playing on was it $17 million? Was it $17 million? Or was that this year he was playing on a $17 million? They signed Gallup, but CeeDee Lamb, yeah, man, actually, no. CeeDee Lamb would have been playing on $17 million, so he got extended this year. No, I don't recall. I know Roy was here with Terrell Owens at that point in time. They traded a pick, right? Wasn't Roy here? Or was it after T.O.? Miles Austin. Miles Austin and Roy, I think both were getting paid, but I don't think they were getting paid the top of the market. But I think they'd be way more willing to pay multiple receivers than corners, though. Was Roy with? I can't remember it, but I know 09 was the Roy trade, right? 09 or 08, one of those two. And I want to say that T.O. was gone by then. I want to say that. I know Miles was still here, for sure. And he got the bag after that 06 season. But I can't remember from crossing over this thing here when it comes to T.O. and them. But yeah, man, I think they'll be way more prone. So it was after so T.O. left, they traded for Roy, and it was Roy Miles. Okay. Yeah, I think they're more prone to sign two guys than to sign two wide receivers and to sign two corners, but we shall see. Yeah, Dez. Yeah, I remember the Dez playing with Roy because Dez was like, I'm not holding your shoulder pads, your helmets. You can miss me with that. All right, let's get back into the mailbag. Got a couple more questions. We still got a little time if you want to call in. Let me go ahead and put the line up now. 351-999-3787. We are live here at Texas Car House, TCH Social in Las Colinas, the premier poker experience where the thrill of the game meets the excitement of the community. I've been here multiple times before, man. This place is top notch. It is luxury. It's like walking in. It's better than if you go to a casino. They got the bar. They got good food, really good food. No lies, really good food. It's a good community too. I definitely advise if you happen to come through Texas for a game, right? Dallas area, DFW area for a game, or you're already here and you're looking to, kind of just do something different. Come through, man. Whether you're just starting or you're a seasoned type of pro, come on through. I'm contemplating trying to host something here with some Cowboys fans. I think that'd be fun, maybe for like charity or something like that. So I've got that kind of in the back of my mind. All right, let's get back to these questions. Got two more questions for y'all. I kind of touched on coaching a little bit, but this one comes from Trey over on Twitter. He says, who from this coaching staff has the best chance of being retained next year? These next two questions, I really like these ones. Who from this coaching staff has the best chance of being retained next year? And I've got Al Harris right there, right? Al Harris seems like the easy answer. But I'm going to use this to cheat a little bit here. I'm going to use this to talk about my hot take this week. Yeah. My hot take brought to you by Dave's Hot Chicken. What coach has the best chance of being retained? Now, this might not necessarily be a hot take. It's more of me looking at how the Joneses operate. If there was a coach to be brought back, I don't think he'd just be retained. I think it'd be a promotion. Uh-oh. Sky, what the hell you getting at? Mike Zimmer, ladies and gentlemen, being promoted to head coach because he just fits the Jones criteria. Doesn't he? He just fits it. Does that coach have head coaching experience? Check. Is that coach going to push back on you? No, not really. Check. Are they comfortable? Is that coach going to be comfortable with how, unorthodox it is here? How discombobulated it is here when it comes to power and structure? Well, Mike Zimmer knows this organization better than anyone probably in that organization, not named Jerry or Stephen Jones. Oh, by the way, he's really good friends with Jerry and Stephen Jones. Check, checkmate. Now, personally, I don't think any coach should be retained if a new coach comes in here. Let them do their thing, unless they say so, right? Like Al Harris is the easy answer. If Al Harris, that coach want to bring him back, understood. But if they bring in a new coach, let that guy do his thing. However, if they are afraid to start with a blank slate, can't you just see Mike Zimmer sliding right up on in there at head coach until they're ready to go a different direction? I mean, once again, I'm not saying I want this. I'm just saying it would not shock me because this just fits and smells like the Jones head coaching type of criteria, ladies and gentlemen. So that's my not so hot take. What coach could be retained? Not only retained, but Mike Zimmer could be promoted if they want to go down that comfortable route. And that hot take is brought to you by Dave's Hot Chicken, America's favorite chicken for America's favorite team. Be sure to give your local Dave's location a visit today. We got them in McKinney, Plano, and Waco. Cowboys Nation, let me get your response to this here. Your response to what coach could be retained, and does that Zimmer thing make sense? Again, I've been saying this, I feel like, all week. Not what I want to do. It's not what I want to do. It's what they just do things like this, man. They just do things. Bones, that's a good one. If we're talking about like non-major moves like a promotion, just a straight retainment, Bones makes sense because he's respected as a special teams coach. Is anybody on the Al Harris train? Anybody on the Al Harris train? Ink said Deion loves Zimmer. Well, I don't think Deion's coming to Dallas. Zimmer is a bridge. Okay, so you're basically saying Zimmer gets a head coach, bridge, and then Deion, when he's ready, comes. Interesting. After that hot take, I don't want food. Gerald Jones says it needs to be Al Harris. Yeah, I hear you, man. Personally, just let whoever the new coach or head coach is, let him pick his guys. If Al Harris is the guy to return, then Al Harris is the guy to return, right? How I'm looking at it. T-Jack said, was just about to say that's a Jones thing to do. It's a Jones thing to do, man. Miss Jackie said Shoddy. Yeah, that Shoddy would be a long shot. He'd have to have connections with the next offensive-minded guy, whether it's the offensive coordinator or head coach. Are we leaving out the obvious one? Are we leaving out the obvious one? Mike McCarthy? Y'all done scared me, man. Y'all done scared. I was for sure on right. I was 100%, no doubt in my mind. That guy ain't come back. Been listening to Jerry Jones talk about regrets. He has no regrets. Y'all keep putting it out there in the air, and I'm just like, come on, man. Will Lunda Wells be retained? You know what? Wouldn't shock me if the next coach looked at Lunda Wells and said, you want to be my offensive line coach? Running back McCarthy? I hope not, bro. I don't know how I'm going to be able to sell that to y'all. Not that I'm here to sell you anything, but you know what I mean? Like, how am I going to come on here and be like, yeah, Mike McCarthy's back? And nah, man. All right, let's, if my mouse lets me. Okay, my mouse don't want to let me over here. I think the battery's dying. Let's get to the last question. It comes from Casey over on Twitter. Casey says, with draft talk on the horizon, what would be more likely to happen if they continue to have bad drafts? 1, new blood in the pro personnel department. Or 2, the front office considers a different team philosophy. Team building philosophy. Love this question. So let's break it down a little bit here, Casey. Let's talk about who is in the pro personnel department. And now we can eliminate number 1. Will McClay is the vice president of player personnel. Okay? They love Will McClay. It would take more than a bad draft or 2 or 3 really to get rid of Will McClay. Truly. I think it'll take more than that. But who's the leading director of player personnel? You want to take a guess?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Hey, Stephen Jones ain't going nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Jones is going nowhere. So there will be no new blood in the pro personnel department, Casey. None. Now maybe in scouting. Maybe they hire a different, guy to do the Southwest region, the Northeast region, the Pac-12, right? Like maybe they do that. But your your director and vice president of pro player personnel, Stephen Jones and Will McClay, they're going nowhere. Okay? Or two, the front office considers a different team building philosophy. You go to Jerry Jones and ask him, now, you know what he's going to say?
Get your damn act together. I don't have the patience to jack with you today.
What you say now, Chuck? A different philosophy. Now, you did give me these two options. If these are the only two options, I will go with option number 2. And here's why. I'm not saying that there have been all these radical different philosophies, okay? But we've seen slight changes from year to year. And, okay, well, this year we'll trade for this veteran. This year we'll do absolutely nothing in free agency. This year we'll sign 11 free agents. Granted, they're all bottom of the barrel. This year we'll sign 1. This year we'll trade up in a draft. Then this year we're not going to. Right, so they're more likely to tweak their team building. I don't think they're completely change it. They're more likely to tweak it than they are to change anybody in the pro personnel department. Because John Stephen Jones and Will Aloysius McClay are the guys there. Yeah, those guys are going nowhere. And Steven came out and said, yeah, it starts with me and stuff. They can do that because they're not firing themselves. And I don't know if this is true or not. I don't listen to a bunch of general managers, but I doubt, after bad drafts, bad free agents, bad off seasons, and constant failure, a general manager is going to come out publicly and be like, yeah, man, these failures are on me. Maybe they've done it. I don't know. But I'd be a fool to go out publicly and say that, because my boss going to be like, you know what? You damn right it's on you. You're fired. You're fired. So, accountability is cool, but don't be stupid, right? You don't go publicly and tell the world it's your fault. Behind the scenes, you be like, you know what? I got to do this a little bit better, but this is why I can do it better. But anyway, man, if I had to pick between one of your two questions or one of your two answers there, Casey, it'd be the Cowboys tweaking how they build the team, not changing what they do in the front office. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, Lil Bill. He just dropped 5 in the super chat. Said, man, this is a good one. Keep the party going. Appreciate you, Lil Bill, but it ain't going that much longer, right? But we going to talk to y'all in the chat. If we get some calls, we got you here. Again, we are live here at TCH Social in Las Colinas. Again, man, if you guys are poker players, I don't believe there's a better place to play than Texas Car House, probably in the country. And Social just brings a entirely different. I mean, I wish I could turn the camera around. If I had my guy here, he'd turn the camera around, and you could just see how nice it is in here, man. It is a beautiful place in here. And depending on how things go with this partnership, man, I might have to see if we can do game days here. I would love to do game days here. Keep it to be. But right now, we got game day live at Canvas Sports and Social. So if you want to come through this Monday night, me and Jesse Holly will be live at Canvas Sports and Social on the patio. I'm not sure if they're going to have anything going on up top. Usually they do, but it's a Monday game. I don't think the Cowboys played Monday just yet. But it's always a good vibe, good energy, and me and Jesse are always going to bring it. So make sure y'all come through. Yeah, Jesse is not firing himself. Yeah, not happening. I'm not sure if there was any other supers, but I don't want to miss any just in case. So I'm going to go over here and do this real quick, squad. Good questions today, man. Appreciate your Twitter. I made the mistake. I hit up my guy, Jake. I said, hey, Jake, I can't get into the Instagram, Jake. Can you post this? Can you post the mailbag on Instagram? Boy, you know what they were saying on Instagram? Why ain't Jerry fired himself? How is my it's all the low hanging. It's like, man, this just tells me and confirms that you have to attack every single last one of the social apps differently. I've had this conversation with our guys here on A to Z many a times. What you do on YouTube, you can't do on Twitter. What you do on Twitter, you don't do on Instagram. What you do on Instagram, you don't do on TikTok, and so forth. You quite literally have to attack all of those things in a different angle. Because IG ain't that much far removed from Facebook when it comes to the people over there participating, man. It is rough. It's rough over there, man. Shouts out to Big Kahuna. He dropped 5 and said, peace and blessings to the chat. Hope everyone has a blessed Friday and a great weekend. Appreciate you, Big Kahuna. Shouts out to the chat, of course. The Bomb Squad. There's nobody better. There's nobody better. Steven wants a quantity draft to collect Jags like right. Jabril Cox, yeah. I mean, that's... In every team sport, you must be strong down the middle. 100%. Tony Hubbard dropped that one for us. Hallelujah said, who else Googled to see if Will McClay's middle name was Aloysius? I don't know what Will McClay's middle name is. He's from Tennessee, so I doubt it's Aloysius. It's probably something like Luther, you know? But what is it? Anybody Google it? What is it? The Guru said Cowboys not packaging picks to move up for a high-regarded prospect. Instead, will always move down, back, or collecting more picks. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cowboys Nation. Dallas has not traded up in the first round since Dez, correct? 14 years, but not saying you have to, right? But the Guru, I mean, you're spot on right there, right? The Cowboys don't do that. Now, they might not need to this year. The Cowboys very well could finish in the top 5 and have a really good pick. Will McClay's middle name is Nathaniel. Bet. Well, Will Nathaniel McClay ain't going nowhere. Mr. Garcia said every Cowboys content creator going to be at the draft. Exciting times. Keep going. Keep doing your thing. No, that's not. Where the draft at this year? I said Vegas, but I was thinking WrestleMania. His middle name is Ken. Where's the draft at this year? I don't know if it'll be there or not. But I'm gonna try to get around more this season. I'm gonna try to get the camp out at Oxnard. I'm gonna try to get to the draft if I can. Honestly, I don't know about the draft. I'm gonna be real. I can't be fake with y'all. Like, I'd rather much cover the draft. We have a plan for the draft. If it all comes together, it's going to be exciting. I'd rather cover the draft here this year, to be honest with you. But I'm curious, where is the draft? Roger said, the Guru, you're right, but in my mind, moving up to get Travis Hunter would be a great move, especially if they keep out Harris. Diggs, Hunter, and Bland, Bell, Thomas. Green Bay? Yeah, I'm going to see y'all right here at the crib. Ain't going no goddamn Green Bay. I go in Jet. It's an Indy? Oh, y'all just throwing out stuff. Okay. Justin says, only Cowboys' chance of winning is if Parsons and Overshown combine for 5 sacks. Justin, yeah, we haven't even talked about the Cowboys play the Texans this week, right? We mentioned the Texans yesterday talking about their defense or their offense against the Cowboys' defense. But is that even a real thing? Because the Cowboys combined for 5 sacks, Justin, and they lost by a whole lot of points at the crib against the Eagles. So I think they're going to have to combine for 5 turnovers to try to win this game here, Justin. But I could give you guys a breakdown on their defense if you want, but is it really needed? The Cowboys could potentially be without their starting left guard and left tackle in this game. Yeah. You got Tyler Smith, who has his knee wrapped, didn't practice 2 days in a row. We'll see what happens today on Friday and tomorrow on Saturday. It's already a banged-up, inconsistent offensive line in general. Cooper Rush is rolling right back out there. I don't know if you guys have watched the Texans' defense over this season. It's a really damn good defense. Oh, D'Amico Ryans is running that defense. D'Amico Ryans is a really damn good coordinator. They have a really good scheme, and they got some dogs over there. Petrie, Al Shahir. Y'all know I loved him when we were doing our Cowboy criteria. 2 years in a row, he made the Cowboy criteria list. Daniil Hunter, who put my guy, what's my man's name in Detroit? Put him in a blender. Panay Sewell, put him in a blender. Jimmy Ward is not the same Jimmy Ward, but he knows that defense. He's a leader back there. Yeah, they're going to need to throw the kitchen sink if they're going to have a chance against this Texas defense. I just didn't really see the need to break it down. This offense is one of the worst offenses, if not the worst in the league, and going up against pretty good, hungry Texans defense that's looking to bounce back. Looking to bounce back. The draft is in Packer Stadium. I mean, look, let me not make that face, because from a football fan, historian standpoint, Lambeau Field is one of those must-see type of things. But, brother, I don't got my butt, motherfucker, for what? Just pick one place every year. Just do it one time. Vegas, preferably, but whatever. All right. That is my cue here to kind of wrap this thing up now. Again, appreciate y'all for jumping in today. A little rocky to begin, but I think we got it through. I would not mind coming back here at TCH, man. If you're in the area, come on through. I'll stick around for a little bit. But we will be back Monday, okay? Monday morning, probably another fan type of day. We will preview the game a little bit more than short show, quick show, because then we have to get down to Canvas Sports and Social for the night game, right, for Monday Night Football. So I will see y'all there again. If you're going out this weekend, I tell you this all the time, man, be safe. Don't do nothing crazy. Have fun. Anybody going to a college football game, pour all your energy into that. Enjoy yourself. Don't stress. The beautiful thing about playing on Monday is Sunday you get to kick back and chill. The terrible thing about playing on Monday is that you got to wait around for 24 more hours, and now the Cowboys not being good, you're probably waiting around to get your ass kicked. So it kind of sucks. Tyson, Paul, tonight, Netflix, who you got on the way out? I'm going to press this. Look, I got to say it. Push the goddamn button. I'm going to press this button, and we're going to get out of here. Tyson, Paul, who you got? Tyson smacked the shit out of the boy, though. Did y'all see Mike Tyson talking to that girl? Oh, Lord. Why they do that to that girl? Mike said, who give a fuck about legacy? Mike, that's a toddler. He dialed in, man. He going to give you about good 2 rounds. He going to be huffing and puffing. We out there. Love y'all, squad. Peace.